The Dextron, Mercon, and the Chrysler product are not that far apart. They're all covered by this transmission fluid right here, with the exception of the new Dextron 6 and Mercon LV and Toyota Type WS, they call it. That's not covered by this. Toyota Type 4 is covered by this. And what's the difference? Well, here's the difference. This fluid, you ask, it runs about 7.5 on the viscosity scale. The new low viscosity fluid runs about 6.8. It could run 6.5, but it's going to be below 7, 6.5 to 6.8, somewhere in there is where it was with the requirements from the manufacturers. So really, the rest of the product is virtually the same. The additives that are put in for anti-wear, corrosion, anti-foaming, all of that additive package is virtually the same for each one of these fluids. One is thinner than the other. Now, what they're doing is going to thinner weight fluids for better fuel economy. And here's what's kind of interesting about that. Would you think there would be much difference in Phoenix, Arizona, El Paso, or Miami with a fluid for fuel economy that was either 7.5 or 6.8 on a viscosity scale? Because remember, a 20 weight oil is what we're talking about, because a 20 weight goes up to 9.2 and I think starts around 7. So we're talking about this, basically this 20 weight oil. We're in the band. It's a small difference we're talking about here. And I'm going to tell you, it's not going to make much difference in a warm climate. But when it's 0 degrees outside, it makes a difference. And what they're doing is, they all know now that with the new mileage test that's required for a car to get a mileage rating, mile per gallon rating, they have to use a real world test, it's called. They have to test that car through a series of cold and hot and city and highway and stop and go and all this kind of stuff before they can actually put a rating on it. Okay, it no longer sits in the laboratory and runs on a big rear wheel dyno just at a steady speed of 55 and see what you can get for fuel economy. They don't do that anymore. So since they have to have this cold weather portion, all these guys, it was killing them. The cold weather portion of the test, the automatic transmissions were acting like big brakes and they were killing the fuel economy. So they immediately said, we can't stand this. We've got to go to lighter weight fluids in the transmission so we don't get killed. Now, we're talking about, remember, they're all using petroleum. They haven't come around to using synthetic, so they're using petroleum. So the difference in a, say, a 7.5 and a 6.8 fluid that's a petroleum, when you're talking about 0 degrees, could be the difference in 2 or 3 miles per gallon at 0 until it warms up. Well, they got to factor that into their total mileage. So it's dragging the total mileage of the car's rating down because of this cold, sluggish transmission. So they decided to go to lighter weights. They could have just gone to a synthetic and kept it the same viscosity and accomplished the same thing, because you won't notice any difference really between a 7.5 and a 6.8 synthetic at 0 degrees, because you haven't got anywhere close to where it's really bothering it. You might see a difference at -20, but not at 0 degrees.